Hi!
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Brad.
And we are AudioShelf.
Before we start, make sure to click that subscribe button down below.
Also, hit that little bell so you can stay up to date whenever we release a new episode. For today's review, we will be talking about Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly. And we just want to say thank you to Scholastic Press for sending us this book in exchange for an honest review. We are really excited about this. As soon as we got it and opened it in our book mail, we were obsessed.
Yes.
Look at the cover.
The cover is beautiful. And also a little bit about how we received this book, not only by the publisher, but Jennifer Donnelly. We reached out to her and she said, you know what? I hope you get a copy. I'm going to send your information to my publisher.
Yes.
And that is how we got it.
So thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you so much, Scholastic Press. We appreciate it so much. Oh my God, we can't wait to talk about this book.
Oh my God.
Oh,
So many thoughts. So many thoughts.
thoughts.
Let's talk about Jennifer first.
Oh, yes.
Jennifer is the author of this book, Jennifer Donnelly, and she has written lots of different types of books.
Yes.
She has mastered books in historical fiction, fantasy. She's a master at retellings.
Mm-hmm.
Not only has she done Stepsister, but she's also done a Beauty and the Beast retelling.
Yes.
Not so much a retelling, but a
companion.
companion continuation of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also did the very popular Waterfire series. Deep Blue is the first one in that series. So she's all about who I am as a reader, who Brittany is.
Yes.
I know you like some mermaids.
I love mermaids.
And we love retelling. So
Yes.
this is perfectly right up our alley.
Perfect. So let's talk about the genre of this book a little bit. What genre does this fit in?
You know,
For
obviously, for me, obviously the retellings, but really there's this fantasy aspect to it.
Yeah.
There's a war, there is princes and princesses. Obviously, it's a retelling of Cinderella, and the stepsister is the evil stepsister.
Yeah.
So one of them.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I definitely think it had that fantasy aspect to it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It definitely goes into the retelling of different things. You get a little glimpse into the ugly stepsisters, Isabel, life a little bit after Cinderella, who they call Ella in this book, leaves. She tries on the glass slipper. She falls in love with the prince. Why did you lick your lips like that?
Because I was thinking about that prince.
She's gone. And so what we're left with is Isabel and Octavia, and how did you pronounce their mom?
Girl, I don't know.
Mammy?
I was like, mammogram, mammadam, mammy, or manny.
Mammy.
Mamma.
Mamma. Her mom.
Her mom.
No.
Can we use audiobooks, people? Okay.
Yeah. So seeing names written out, we're just like, what is that? Hooked on phonics.
Yes.
We need pronunciations.
Yeah.
But we dove into this book with an open mind.
Mm-hmm. We had a very high expectation.
Uh-huh. Yes. And also we were excited because I don't know about everybody else, but the ugly stepsisters in Cinderella always kind of fascinated me.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of trying to figure out like what they're about, what happens after they leave. I love in Ever After when they show where the stepmother and, well, the one stepsister goes, where they're like dyeing clothes and stuff like that, and then they fall into the water, whatever.
I'm also a huge fan of villains.
Mm-hmm.
So to see this villain portrayed in a different light and not so much as a villain, but actually start off as a villain.
Yeah.
But you see her grow into a better person. I like those stories.
Yeah.
Because you always got to feel bad for those people. They're dealing with something.
Yeah. Yeah. So the entire book takes place in a town in France where the two stepsisters and the stepmother are living, and you kind of get a glimpse into what their life is like after Ella leaves.
Oui.
And figuring out what their purpose is. And then you also have this play of chance and fate coming in and figuring out more to their life than just being evil and ugly. So that was a really, really interesting take on it. And it was really inspiring.
It was empowering, especially for women. And Brittany's going to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think let's get down to what our individual thoughts about the book were.
Okay.
So I'm going to go first because, you know, I'm stupid. So I read Stepsister probably back early April, and, you know, I really enjoyed the beginning. The beginning reminded me of the Grimm fairy tales. It really kept that initial original story alive, and it told us about, like, cutting off limbs and toes and trying to get them feet in them shoes.
The one cut off her heel.
The heel?
of her foot.
How do you even do that?
I don't know. I was imagining like butcher shop style on the ham slicer. I don't even.
Girl, I gotta wear one of those jelly pads in between my
Dr. Scholl's?
The arcs. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, Dr. Scholl's.
The arcs. I can't imagine cutting off my damn heel.
And then having to walk on it.
What's that? Fasciitis? Arthur's fasciitis? What is it called?
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Something fasciitis. I got it.
It's fishy?
Sometimes my feet smell fishy.
Anyway, you're talking about when you read this.
Oh yes, the book. So I really enjoyed the beginning. However, when Fate and Chance, I think Fate and Chance were introduced in the beginning, I kind of lost them. And then when they showed up again throughout the book, I kind of got confused. I wasn't really putting two and two together. And I kind of got lost throughout the middle. Now, I definitely read it and I was trying to keep up with it, but I didn't really get hooked again until the very end. And I really loved the war. I loved how Isabel became one with herself instead of focusing on the beauty aspect of it. And I really got that metaphor of the book, that beauty isn't everything. So I really enjoyed that. But for some reason, this book didn't grab my attention the entire way through. And so I told Brittany before she read it, I said, I really love the beginning and I love the end. The middle, not so much for me. And I think also in part, April, I was going through something and I was reading this book when it happened and I really wasn't putting my 100% all into this book. And so I think that was a disservice to my ability to enjoy it. However, life happens and we have a lot of books to read and we had to keep going. So I think that was why I didn't enjoy it as much as I really wanted to.
I loved it. Plain and simple. I really enjoyed it. I liked the message of it. I was saying to Brad how maybe he didn't like it as much because it's very much about the strength of a woman and understanding how... Sip your drink while I'm talking about the strength of women.
I'm sorry. My nose was itching and I was hoping it was going to go away.
But it was just very empowering and I found a lot of inspiration in it. Found a lot of things that I think young girls should read and appreciate in this book that I was able to find and appreciate. And so I really think it was just a strong novel and I loved it. Brad said in the middle he kind of fell off from it. He didn't really like it. I blew through the middle. I was wondering where the middle was because I was reading so quickly through it. Not to brag, but I got through it real quick.
You got through it in like what? 2 days? A day and a half?
Day and a half, yeah. I just couldn't stop. Yeah, I just loved it.
One thing I loved about this book and how it was written and executed was the chapters. There's about 100 and... How many? 21 chapters or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
But some chapters are like a page and a half. Some chapters are 10 pages. Some chapters are 3 pages.
And they're not your typical chapters.
Yeah.
They do not have their own separate page for chapter headings. You do not have a chapter end and a chapter beginning. You kind of just have these, like how this one's like 84. And then it's just this half page right here. And then it jumps into 85. And then like the next page has a couple more chapters to it.
Some pros and cons with that for me is that they're short, which I like. I can get done several chapters in an evening or a sitting. However, it's hard for me to keep flipping sometimes. That's a con for me. Is I'm like, where is a good place for me to stop?
Yes.
Because some of the chapters did kind of go hand in hand, and I was like, why did we start a brand new chapter here?
Yeah.
However, another pro is that I felt successful, like reading 10 chapters in an hour.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that we liked about Maze Runner, too, is that the chapters were so short that it felt like we were accomplishing something great, even though there was like 500 pages and we were only 20 pages in, but on chapter 30. So, I liked the chapters. That's what kind of made it hard to stop reading, honestly, is that I just kept coming to a new chapter and I was like, well, this chapter is only this amount of pages long. I'm just going to read this one really quick. And then it just kept spiraling. I just never stopped. So who is your favorite character?
I don't know. It was a mix between... I really loved Isabel as a character. Her as a main character was phenomenal.
Oh my goodness. She was so good.
I was cheering her on the entire time.
Yes.
But I really kind of liked Octavia.
You took my answer.
It was very surprising because I was like... This book is about one sister. However, they kind of really touched on the goodness of Octavia.
Yeah.
She was smart.
Sarcastic.
She was very sarcastic. Nothing like I imagined her from the original Cinderella.
Yes.
Or even any of the other, what is it called?
Retellings?
Retellings of the story.
Yeah.
I really just enjoyed Octavia in this book.
Yeah, same. She was my favorite. They called her Tavi.
Tavi, I love that. I might name my kid that.
Yeah.
Octavia, Tavi.
I feel like in anything that has an Octavia character, I instantly fall in love with them.
100.
Yeah, like there's like no doubt in my mind that if there's a character named Octavia, I'm going to love her.
Yes.
Like Octavia was so funny. She was so smart. She was sarcastic. She was witty. She had comebacks like nobody's business. It was amazing. I loved her interactions with Hugo.
Yes.
And I also really liked the relationship that her and Isabel had. Even though both of them were kind of fighting for the same title of trying to be the Queen of France, when they lost, they didn't blame each other.
No, they lost together.
Yeah, they didn't like say, oh, well, you didn't cut your toes off correctly or you suck or anything like that. They just kind of went back into real life with each other.
And they would always bicker in the other movies of Cinderella.
Yeah.
And in this, they never bickered. They were always like close. Another thing about the relationships between the sisters is I really liked Ella in this book.
Yes.
She wasn't annoying. Like Cinderella can be really annoying.
Cinderella's super annoying.
Especially if you're telling a retelling that's not about her. She can be an annoying, nice character in the background.
Yeah.
But she was real. She was like, listen, I love you. You're my sister. Even though you've been horrible to me and you've done horrible things, I'm able to forgive you because that's what we do. That's what family does.
Yeah.
And I really loved that kind of characterization of Ella and Cinderella in this book.
Yeah.
And also, like, there's a kidnapping scene, and that was really cool.
That was neat. I really liked when Isabel went to save her horse.
Oh my god. I knew you were going to love the horse parts.
I love the horse parts. And then she saved 2 other horses that were going... They slaughter horses in this book. But, I mean, not in this book.
Not in the book.
They don't describe it.
They talk about it.
But it's in a time period where people did slaughter horses for, like, food and stuff like that. And I'm sure that still happens in the world somewhere. But it's not as common of a practice. I don't know. I'm trying to do a history lesson and I don't know the history.
We ain't historians.
No. All I'm saying is that Isabel did not want to see the slaughter of 3 horses, so she sacrificed something that could get her out of this hell that she was kind of in, get her freedom. She sacrificed that for these animals, and I loved that.
Another aspect of the book was the idea of chance and fate and how they're external characters. However, they're really kind of the internal battle that Isabel was going through.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to kind of see that throughout the pages and kind of, see that play out.
Yeah.
It was different.
It was neat as well to see this kind of map aspect come in where like your life is a map and you have this path that you have to stay on and you have these people that are drawing your path and making sure it stays on there, and they know like when you're gonna die, they know how you're going to die, they can see into your future and your past and everything like that, and just sort of getting this interesting fantasy part in the novel that I didn't expect to get from it. It was an interesting little nugget of info.
And I love nuggets.
Yeah, especially chicken nuggets from Wendy's.
Oh, no, McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Ew.
Just love them. I know they're not real, maybe, but they're so good with the barbecue sauce. What about Chick-fil-A nuggets?
I don't do Chick-fil-A anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
I would steal their sauces free.
Yeah, I steal their sauce. A lot of their sauce.
Yeah, and then I eat them with Wendy's nuggets.
Yay!
What?
Nuggets.
Why? But why?
Oh.
Chance and fate maps.
Yes.
So you had this chance and fate. You had maps. They were on the path for it. They were doing all their good stuff. It was cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
I like maps.
Maps. Doesn't Dora have a map? Like a Dora the Explorer map song?
Yeah, but I don't think that's it. I really like this book. I'm totally going to keep it on my shelf. I may even read it again. Possibly.
Oh?
Okay, so in the epilogue, there is this chance that there could be more of these books. I'm not sure what Jennifer's plan is, and I'm not trying to force her to write more books about this kind of map aspect of people like trying to influence where your path goes. And I think there's the potential for more characters, more retellings to have this happen to them. And I'm really excited if Jennifer does that.
I want to hear a retelling of the fairy godmother.
Yeah.
Because she was not in this book.
Wait, no, she was.
She was a little bit.
She was the fairy queen.
But she was the fairy queen, but I didn't get that sense of a godmother.
But she's the one that made Ella's pumpkin carriage. And the mice, okay. They have the mice in this.
See, I wasn't getting that. They do have the mice.
They have the mice. And they, like, help everybody out in this book a little bit. Like, there's so much character development in here that it's really great from start to finish. Like, you have Isabel in the beginning, and then you have Isabel in the end, and they are two totally different characters, but kind of the same personality.
Yeah, you always knew it was the same heart.
Yeah.
It was the same heart.
Yes. I will say that my one critique for this is that everything sort of resolved very quickly. I felt like there were things that happened, like at one point there was supposed to be a wedding, and then 3 pages later the wedding arc was kind of done. Like, they had figured out a plan to get out of it, and that was it. Not necessarily a con, just because I didn't want to waste my time on a wedding arc that didn't matter. I would say that while things wrapped up very quickly, it was kind of good. So I take back saying it was a con. Yeah, I don't know. I'm undecided.
It's a thought.
Do you have any other thoughts for Stepsister?
I know we talked about the book cover, but I love the book cover. I love the presentation.
Yeah.
And I just really enjoyed this experience.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't a huge fan of most of the novel, just because I wasn't there, I wasn't in it, but I love the concept. And I think that's the smartest thing that you can take away from this, is that it was a great concept, great storytelling, and it was just really well done. Yeah,
it was really, really well done. I really liked it. I want to read more of Jennifer Donnelly's work, so I can't wait to jump into another one of her books.
Deep Blue is really good.
Have you read it?
Yep.
Oh, really? I did not realize that.
Good. It was a long time ago.
Oh.
A long time ago.
She has a book about the wives of Henry VIII.
Oh.
That I really am interested in. Yeah, the cover is beautiful too. It has like a woman and she's crying a tear of blood.
I love a tear of blood.
I'm excited about that one. I want to read that one next. So, and this book is already out, so you can grab it right now, read it. It's a nice, I guess, summer read because it's summer, but I would say that it's a good winter read by a fireplace.
Yes!
Yeah.
I was going to say that. I was like, it's going to be winter realness.
Yes. So, but, I mean, if you don't want to sit near a fireplace and roast, pick it up now in the summer. Just do it in the summertime and imagine that you're by a fireplace.
Yes.
And if you want to stay up to date with all that we are releasing and that we are doing, please subscribe to our channel. And also, you can follow us on all of our various social medias. We are on Twitter at AudioShelfMe, Instagram at AudioShelf_podcast, Facebook at AudioShelf, and we also have a Patreon you can find by Google searching AudioShelf Patreon if you want to help our show grow monetarily.
So thank you for watching this video, and again, thank you Scholastic Press for sending us a copy of this book.
We will catch you next time. Bye!
Bye!